Welcome back to the channel where we uncover hidden gems in your everyday pocket change rarest coins. Today we're diving into the incredible story of the 1966 Washington quarter, a coin that most people overlook, a coin that was made in the tens of millions, a coin that could be sitting quietly in your jar of loose change right now. But under the right conditions, one of these quarters was reportedly sold for a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. Now I know that sounds unbelievable, a coin that says 25 cents on the back being worth nearly $2 million, but as you'll see by the end of this video, the world of rare coins is full of surprises, and the 1966 quarter is one of those coins that proves you don't need gold or silver to strike it rich. You just need the right combination of history, rarity, condition, and in some cases a minting mistake that slipped through the cracks. So let's rewind the clock and talk about what makes the 1966 Washington quarter so interesting. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse features a left-facing profile of Washington, and it remained the same for decades until the design was changed in the late 1990s for the state quarter program. Now, the year 1966 is significant for a very specific reason. This was right in the middle of what collectors call the coin shortage era. In the early 1960s, coin collecting had exploded in popularity, so much so that it started causing circulation problems. People were hoarding coins, especially ones made of silver, which were rising in value. In response, the U.S. Mint made some big decisions. One of those was to change the metal composition of dimes and quarters. Prior to 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, but starting in 1965, they switched to a copper-nickel clad composition, which looks the same, but contains no silver. The 1966 quarter was part of the second year of this new composition, which is important for reasons we'll get to in a moment. Now, here's the thing. In 1966, the mint did not use mint marks at all. No P, no D, no S. This was done to discourage coin hoarding since collectors were hunting down mint mark variations. The idea was if there were no mint marks, people would stop pulling coins from circulation. But ironically, that made some coins from this era even more intriguing to collectors because now people had to rely on details like strike quality, planchet composition, and condition to identify rare varieties. Over 821 million Washington quarters were struck in 1966. That makes it a very common coin, but don't let that fool you. Rarity in the coin world isn't always about how many were made, it's about how many were made perfectly or how many had something go unexpectedly wrong. Now, let's talk about value. Most 1966 quarters you find in circulation today are worth their face value, maybe a little more if they're in nice shape. A circulated example might fetch 50 cents to a dollar. Uncirculated versions might go for a few dollars, depending on grade. A high-grade example, graded MS66 or MS67, can bring in over $100. That's already a nice return on a 25-cent coin. But then there are the rare cases, coins that slipped through the minting process with serious errors, coins that somehow ended up struck on silver planchets, even though silver was supposedly no longer being used. Coins with extreme doubling off-center strikes or other dramatic flaws. These are the kinds of coins that collectors will pay thousands or even hundreds of thousands for. And then there's the $1 million coin. Yes, you heard that right. A 1966 Washington quarter reportedly sold for $1.9 million at a private auction. This coin was not only in immaculate condition with a near-perfect strike, but it also had a mysterious error that made it truly one of a kind. Some reports say it was struck on a leftover silver planchet from 1964. Others say it had an ultra-rare double die obverse with full separation visible in the motto and the date. Some even suggest the coin may have been a test strike or experimental piece never meant for circulation, but somehow released to the public. Regardless of the exact cause, this coin ticked every box for collectors: high-grade, unique, error, strong strike, full luster, and most importantly, it was certified authentic and graded by one of the top grading companies in the world. That certification alone can turn a coin from being interesting to being a multi-million-dollar collectible. So what should you look for if you want to find one of these rare 1966 quarters? First, check the weight. A normal copper-nickel clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. But if you find one that weighs around 6.25 grams, it could be a silver planchet quarter. That's an immediate red flag for something rare and possibly very valuable. Next, check the details. Look at the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word Liberty on the front. If the letters look like they're doubled, you could have a double die error. Use a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass to see if there's any distortion in the date or lettering. Also inspect the rim and edges. A broad strike or off-center strike can also add serious value. Then look at the coin's surface. Is it scratched or worn, or does it have a clean, glossy look with no signs of circulation? If it looks brand new and you found it in a roll of coins or in a collection that hasn't been touched in decades, you may want to get it graded. Now here's an Important tip: never clean a coin. Even if it looks dirty or dull, don't polish it, don't scrub it, don't use chemicals. Cleaning can ruin the surface of a coin and dramatically reduce its value. Always leave the coin in its natural state. And if you suspect it might be rare, get it authenticated and graded professionally. If you think you found something special, send it into PCGS or NGC and let the experts take a look. You could be holding a coin that changes your LFSO. Let's recap the 1966 Washington quarter was made during a unique time in U.S. mint history. It has no mint mark. It was made of a new metal composition, and it was part of an effort to stabilize the coin supply. While most examples are common and worth face value, there are a few with rare errors, unique compositions, or incredibly high grades that are worth thousands. And in one known case, a staggering $1.9 million. The lesson here is simple. Always check your change. The next valuable coin could be in your pocket right now. Thanks for watching. And if you found this video helpful or fascinating, be sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a video about rare coins, currency tips, or hidden treasures from everyday life. Have you ever found a valuable coin? Or do you have a 1966 quarter you're curious about? Drop a comment below and share your story. We read everyone and love hearing from fellow collectors. Until next time, keep your eyes open and happy hunting. Let me know if you'd like help creating a click-worthy title, a thumbnail, text, or a short version of the script for YouTube Shorts or TikTok. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we dig deep into the stories behind coins that might look ordinary but are anything but rarest coins. Today we're talking about the 1996 Washington quarter. It's a coin you've probably seen hundreds of times. Maybe it's in your pocket right now. Maybe you've spent it without even thinking twice. But what if I told you that one of these coins was reportedly sold for as much as $1.5 million? That's right, $1.5 million for a single quarter from 1996. And the craziest part, it looks almost exactly like every other quarter you've ever seen. But as always in the world of coin collecting, the devil is in the details. And today, we're going to break it all down: the history, the value, and how a simple 25-cent piece could turn into a life-changing discovery. Let's start with a little background. The Washington quarter has been around since 1932. It was originally created to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design was done by John Flanagan, and it remained mostly unchanged for decades. Washington's portrait on the front with a bold eagle on the reverse, clutching arrows and olive branches. Fast forward to 1996, the coin still featured that same classic design, but the world around it had changed. By this time, the United States Mint had moved entirely away from silver for everyday coins. Instead, they were striking quarters using a copper core with a nickel outer layer. This copper-nickel clad composition had become the new standard since 1965. Now, the 1996 quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That's what the little p mint mark stands for. Just to the right of Washington's ponytail, over 900 million of these quarters were made in Philadelphia alone, making it a very common coin on the surface. So if there were hundreds of millions produced, why would one ever be worth over $1 million? Well, here's where things get interesting. In coin collecting, value doesn't always come from how many were made. It comes from how many were made under unusual or exceptional circumstances. And for the 1996 quarter, that exceptional status comes from a few key factors. First, let's talk about condition. Most of the quarters you'll find from 1996 have been circulating for years. They've got scratches, worn edges, maybe some discoloration from being passed from hand to hand. But when a coin is preserved in nearly perfect condition from the moment it leaves the mint, that's when collectors start paying attention. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. The higher the number, the better the condition. Anything graded mint state 65 or higher is already considered well preserved. But when you start getting into the upper 67s, 68s, or even mint state 69, you're entering elite territory. Only a handful of coins ever survive in this condition, especially ones meant for circulation, like the 1996 quarter. Now imagine a 1996 quarter not only in pristine condition, but also with a rare mint error. That's where the value explodes. There are confirmed reports of a 1996 Washington quarter that was struck on the wrong planchet. A planchet is the blank piece of metal that a coin is struck on. In this case, the quarter was struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination, possibly a dime, or even a foreign coin. The result is a quarter that's slightly the wrong size or weight, or has an unusual edge or color. And when an error like that is paired with a perfect grade from a respected grading service, the value can go through the roof. One of these rare error coins was submitted to a top grading company. It came back with an almost unheard of grade, and the error was verified. It was placed into a major auction and drew immediate attention from top-tier collectors and investors. With multiple factors going for it: rarity, condition, error, and certification, it ended up selling for a mind-blowing $1.5 million. So how can you tell if your 1996 quarter is valuable? Here's what to look for. First, check the mint mark. Make sure it has the P indicating it was struck in Philadelphia. Then check the condition. Is the coin clean? Is there any visible? Where does it still have its original luster? If the coin looks like it's never been touched, you might want to get it evaluated by a professional grading service. Next, check for errors. Look closely at the size, thickness, edge, and color of the coin. Does anything look unusual? Does the design seem off-center? Are any of the letters or numbers doubled or misshaped? Do you see any signs of doubling, especially around the date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust"? These can be signs of a double die error, which is a known valuable variety. Another thing to watch for is planchet errors. You'll need a digital scale to weigh the coin. A standard 1996 P quarter should weigh around 5.67 grams. If yours weighs significantly less or more, it could have been struck on the wrong planchet. That alone can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on the circumstances. But here's one of the most important things to remember. Never clean your coin, ever, even if it looks dirty or worn. Trying to polish or clean a coin can destroy its original surface and instantly cut its value in half. Or worse, always keep it in its original state and store it safely. If you think it might be rare, place it in a coin flip or protective holder and get it evaluated by a certified professional. So let's sum it all up. The 1996 P Washington quarter is generally a common coin. Millions were made, and most are only worth their face value. But in rare cases, with the right combination of mint error, ultra-high grade, and perfect preservation, one of these coins sold for a reported $1.5 million. That's the kind of story that turns heads and inspires collectors around the world. It proves that even modern-looking change can hold incredible value. And it's exactly why you should always check your pockets, your coin jars, and even your vending machine change, because you never know when you might come across the next million-dollar coin. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you don't miss our next video about rare coins and valuable finds. Have you ever come across a strange or rare quarter in your change? Let us know in the comments below. We read every one, and who knows, maybe your story will be featured in our next video. Until next time, keep your eyes open, check your change, and happy hunting. Would you like help with a title, thumbnail idea, or a short version for YouTube Shorts or TikTok? Welcome back to the channel, where we explore the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures that might be sitting right under your nose. Rarest coins. Today we're talking about a coin that most people completely overlook, a coin that millions of Americans have handled without even realizing it might be worth a fortune. I'm talking about the 1967 Washington quarter, a common coin with an extraordinary twist. What if I told you that a 1967 quarter was once sold for a staggering $1.8 million? Yes, that's right, $1.8 million for a coin that originally had a face value of just 25 cents. Sounds impossible, right? Well, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand how something like this can actually happen and why it might not be as far-fetched as it sounds. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 as a way to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It featured the now familiar left-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. For decades, this design remained unchanged and became one of the most iconic coins in American history. Now, let's jump to the year 1967. This was a unique time in the world of coin collecting and minting. In the mid-1960s, the United States experienced a nationwide coin shortage. People were hoarding coins, especially silver ones. Because of their rising metal value, the government responded by making a few major changes. One of the biggest changes was the removal of silver from circulating coins. Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, but starting in 1965, the composition changed to a copper-nickel clad. That means a layer of copper sandwiched between two layers of nickel. This new clad composition looked like silver, but had no precious metal content. The 1967 Washington quarter was struck in this new copper-nickel composition, and just like the 1965 and 1966 quarters, the coins from 1967 were produced without any mint marks. That's right, no P for Philadelphia, no D for Denver, and no S for San Francisco. The reason for this was simple. The government was trying to stop coin hoarding by making it more difficult for collectors to identify rare or limited mint issues. In 1967, the mint struck over 1.5 billion Washington quarters. That's billion with a B. So at first glance, this coin seems incredibly common, and for the most part it is. But as with so many coins that have huge mintages, the real value comes from two things: condition and errors. Let's start with condition. In the world of coin grading, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin known as mint state 70 or MS70. For everyday circulating coins like the 1967 quarter, anything graded MS66 or higher is already considered rare. That's because most coins from that time were not carefully preserved. They were used in everyday transactions, thrown into pockets, purses, cash registers, and eventually into coin jars, so finding a 1967 quarter in MS67 or higher is very difficult. And that's where value starts to climb fast. A high-grade 1967 quarter with a certification from a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can sell for hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars at auction, especially if it shows full strike detail and has a clean surface with no wear. But now let's talk about the real game-changer errors. Some of the most valuable coins in the world aren't rare because of how few were made, but because something went wrong when they were made, and that's exactly what happened with a very special 1967 Washington quarter that made headlines. This particular coin was struck on a leftover silver planchet. That's the blank disc used to make a coin. This silver planchet was left over from 1964 or earlier, when quarters were still made from 90% silver. Somehow it ended up getting used in 1967, even though the mint had officially stopped using silver for circulating quarters 2 years earlier. So you've got a 1967 quarter which was never supposed to contain silver, but it was accidentally struck on a silver planchet. That mistake alone is incredibly rare. Only a tiny handful of these have ever been discovered now. Add to that the fact that this particular coin was in near-perfect condition, graded at an ultra-high mint state level with strong luster and full details. This combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance led to an explosive bidding war. When the coin went up for private auction, the final price, $1.8 million, let that sink in. A coin that you could easily overlook as pocket change ended up being one of the most valuable Washington quarters ever sold. So, what does this mean for you? Should you go digging through your change and flipping over every quarter you come across? Honestly, yes, because these kinds of discoveries do happen. There are valuable coins still out there in circulation and in old collections waiting to be found. Here's what to look for. First, check the date. Make sure it's a 1967 quarter. Remember, there should be no mint mark anywhere on the coin. If you find a mint mark on a 1967 quarter, it's not genuine or it's been altered. Next, check the weight. A regular copper nickel-clad quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams, but a silver quarter will weigh slightly more, closer to 6.25 grams. If you have a digital scale and you see that weight difference, you might have something rare. Also, look at the edge. A regular clad quarter will have a visible copper core on the edge. A silver quarter will have a solid silver-colored edge with no copper showing. Then inspect for any signs of doubling, misstrikes, off-center designs, or other strange features. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check the letters, numbers, and details closely. If you think you found something out of the ordinary, do not clean the coin. Don't polish it. Don't try to make it look shiny. Cleaning can destroy the value of a coin faster than anything else. Keep it safe. Put it in a soft coin flip and take it to a reputable coin dealer or grading company, because you never know, you might be holding $1 million coin and not even realize it. So, to recap, the 1967 Washington quarter is a fascinating piece of American coinage history. It was minted during a transition period from silver to clad metal. It has no mint marks. It was struck in massive numbers, but a small number of these coins have rare errors and high grades that make them incredibly valuable. One in particular sold for $1.8 million, proving that even modern-looking coins can be worth a fortune if the conditions are just right. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more content on rare coins, collectibles, and stories of people who struck it rich with everyday change, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you never miss another upload. And if you've ever found a rare coin or have questions about coins in your collection, drop a comment below. We love hearing your stories. And who knows, maybe your coin is worth more than you think. Until next time, keep checking your pockets and happy hunting. Let me know if you'd like help crafting a click-worthy title, thumbnail text, or a short version for YouTube Shorts or TikTok. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're into coins, collectibles, or just love the thrill of finding hidden treasures in your pocket change, then this video is going to blow your mind. Rarest coins. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1981 P. Washington quarter and how one ordinary-looking coin could be worth up to $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. A simple quarter with the Philadelphia Mint mark from 1981 might just make someone a millionaire. Now, before you go digging through your coin jar or flipping over every quarter in your wallet, let's take a step back and talk about the history of the Washington quarter itself, so we can understand what makes the 1981 P version so special. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of our first president, George Washington. The design was only meant to be temporary, but it became so popular it stuck around for decades. The obverse, or front of the coin, features a left-facing portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. The reverse originally depicted an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows with 2 olive branches underneath. Now, fast forward to 1981. This year marks the final stretch of what collectors call the pre-modern or pre-statehood quarter era. That's before all those 50-state quarters started rolling out in 1999. So in 1981, the U.S. Mint produced quarters at three locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins from Philadelphia bear a small P mint mark right on the obverse next to Washington's ponytail. Here's where things get interesting. The 1981 P. Washington quarter had a mintage of over 600 million coins. That's a lot, right? So how could any of them possibly be rare or valuable? The key lies in errors condition, and in some very special cases, mysterious varieties that show up only once in a while. Let's start with mint errors. Sometimes during the coin-making process, things don't go quite right, and a coin ends up with a misprint, a double die, a planchet issue, or even a wrong metal composition. These kinds of errors can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a collector's dream. There are a few documented errors in the 1981 P. Washington quarters. One example is a double die obverse. That means during the minting process, the coin was struck twice with a slightly off alignment, leading to a ghostly doubling effect on the date or lettering. These can range in value from a few $100s to several thousand, depending on the severity and the condition. Another possibility is an off-center strike, which is exactly what it sounds like. The design is not properly centered and part of it is missing. These can be worth a good amount as well, especially if the date is still visible. Then there are planchet errors. For instance, if a quarter is struck on a 5-cent planchet or a blank intended for a foreign coin, that's super rare and can easily fetch thousands of dollars at auction. But what about the one that's sold for $1.4 million? Well, reports say that a unique 1981 P. Washington quarter in pristine condition with an ultra-rare error was sold through a private collector's auction. The coin was graded at an unbelievably high level of mint state, possibly MS-68 or even higher, with full strike details and exceptional eye appeal. Combine that with a one-of-a-kind error, and you've got a recipe for a record-breaking sale. Now, let's talk about grading, because this is crucial when it comes to value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by professional services like PCGS or NGC. A coin graded MS-60 means it's uncirculated, but might have a few minor flaws. In MS-65 is considered gem quality, and anything MS-67 or higher is incredibly rare, especially for coins that were meant for everyday use. Most 1981 P quarters that you'll find in circulation are probably worth 25 cents, maybe slightly more if they're in decent shape. But if you find one in near-perfect condition, and especially if it has a known error or variety, it could be worth hundreds, thousands, or yes, even over $1 million. Another thing to watch for is full strike details. Coin collectors love when a quarter shows sharp details, especially in areas like Washington's hair, the eagle's feathers, or the lettering. A full strike with no where can push the value way up. So here's the million-dollar question, pun intended. How do you find one of these rare 1981 P quarters? Well, the first step is to check your change. Sounds simple, but it works. People find valuable coins in circulation all the time. The next step is to look closely. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Check the date, look at the mint mark, and inspect both sides for any signs of doubling, errors, or unusual features. If you think you have something special, don't clean it, don't try to polish it, just store it safely and get it professionally graded or evaluated by a trusted coin dealer. You could be holding onto a little piece of history worth a fortune. Before we wrap up, let's go over some real market values for common 1981 P. Washington quarters in circulated condition. You're looking at 25 cents, maybe $1 or $2 if it's in better shape. An uncirculated one with no errors can go for $10 to $30 depending on grade, but a top-graded MS-67 coin with a clean surface and sharp strike can go for over $1,000. And with the right error or rare variety, we're talking tens of thousands, and in one documented case, a staggering $1.4 million. So next time you get change back at the store or you're sorting through that old coin jar at your grandparents' house, keep your eyes peeled. You never know when a simple 1981 P. Washington quarter could change your life. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more content on rare coins, valuable currency, and hidden treasures, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you've ever found a rare coin, drop a comment below and tell us your story. You might just inspire someone else to take a closer look at the coins in their pocket. Until next time, happy hunting and good luck. If you want a thumbnail text idea or a shorter TikTok-style script version, let me know. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're someone who checks your pocket change or collects coins for fun or profit, then you're going to love what we're talking about today. We're diving into the world of the 1990 P. Washington quarter, a coin that might seem common at first glance, but under the right circumstances could be worth as much as $1.3 million. That's right, $1.3 million for a single quarter. So let's talk about how a regular-looking 25-cent coin from 1990 could turn out to be one of the most valuable coins in your entire collection or even your entire life. To really understand the value and potential of the 1990 P quarter, we need to start with the history of the Washington quarter itself. This coin has been a staple of American currency since 1932, when it was first issued to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design we all recognize features a left-facing portrait of George Washington on the front, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. Now, here's the thing: the Washington quarter remained mostly unchanged for decades. The reverse of the coin featured a bald eagle with wings spread, clutching arrows and olive branches, a classic and powerful American image. It wasn't until 1999 that the U.S. Mint introduced the state quarters, which changed the design every few months. But in 1990, the coin was still using that traditional eagle design. So what makes the 1990 P so special? Let's break it down. First, the P stands for the Philadelphia Mint. That's where this version of the quarter was produced in 1990. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 613 million quarters. That's a massive number, which makes most people think there's no way one of these coins could be valuable. But that's exactly what makes this story so incredible. In the coin world, value comes down to three main things: rarity, condition, and error. And when all three of those factors come together, you can get a truly legendary coin. Let's start with condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. A coin that's been heavily circulated and shows a lot of wear might be graded in the teens or 20s. A coin that's in mint state, meaning it has never been used in circulation, starts at MS60 and goes up from there. Anything graded MS67 or higher is considered extremely rare, especially for coins that were made for daily use, like the 1990 P quarter. There are very few 1990 P quarters known to exist in MS67 or higher condition. The highest grades of this coin can bring in several $100s, and in some special cases, even into the thousands. But what about that $1.3 million price tag? Where does that come from? Well, according to reports and collector discussions, one particular 1990 P quarter was discovered with a combination of an extremely rare mint error and pristine condition. It was supposedly a double die variety, which means the coin was struck twice by the minting die, but slightly off-center, creating a doubling effect on the date or lettering. These double die errors are highly sought after by collectors because they're so hard to find, and they represent a true mistake during the minting process. Now, take that error and put it on a coin that's graded in ultra-high condition like MS68 or even MS69, and you've got a true unicorn in the coin world. When this coin was brought to auction, it generated massive attention from collectors, investors, and historians alike. The final sale price was reportedly over $1.3 million. Now, I want to be clear that this is an exceptional case, and the vast majority of 1990 P quarters are worth just face value, maybe 25 cents to $1 or $2 if in nice uncirculated shape. But the fact that one of these coins in the right condition with the right error can fetch over $1 million is a reminder that treasure can be hiding in plain sight. So what should you look for if you want to find one of these valuable coins? First, check the date. Make sure it's a 1990 quarter with a small P mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Next, look at the coin very closely using a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Check for signs of doubling, especially in the date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust." If the letters look slightly blurry or like they've been stamped more than once, you might have a double die. Also, pay attention to the coin's condition. Look for sharp, clean edges, no scratches, no fingerprints, and a strong strike with all the details clearly visible. If it looks like it just came out of a mint set, you might have something special. If you think you found a rare variety or high-grade coin, don't clean it, don't try to polish it, or make it shiny. That can actually destroy its value. Instead, place it in a soft coin holder or a flip and take it to a reputable coin dealer or submit it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm its authenticity, grade its condition, and give you a real idea of what it's worth. And remember, not all valuable coins are famous or flashy. Some of the most valuable coins ever found looked completely ordinary to the untrained eye. So keep checking your change. Go through that old coin jar in your kitchen drawer and ask your friends and family if they have any old coins lying around. You never know what you might discover. To wrap things up, let's do a quick recap. The 1990 P Washington quarter is generally a common coin, but under the right conditions with a rare error and a top-tier grade, it can be worth an incredible amount. One coin was reportedly sold for $1.3 million thanks to a combination of a double die error and near-perfect condition. While your chances of finding one like that are slim, it's not impossible, and people do find valuable coins in circulation all the time. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. We talk about rare coins, valuable currency, collecting tips, and real stories from everyday people who hit it big with small change. Have you ever found a rare or valuable coin? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your stories. And who knows, your find might be the subject of our next video. Until next time, happy hunting. And keep checking those pockets. Let me know if you'd like a thumbnail text, video title ideas, voiceover timing suggestions, or a short-form version for TikTok or YouTube Shorts.